Every who down in Who Newville liked the holidays a ton. But where to get great prices on gifts, they had no idea. None. They searched and they searched for great gifts under $25. Gifts for spouses and friends and even their toddlers. When suddenly one who shouted, Walmart has what you want, knowing they have Lego, Tree Hut, and no prices to flaunt. So they enjoy the holiday season as who's often do. Cheering and shouting, Walmart has incredible gifts. Who knew? Find gifts they'll love under $25 at Walmart.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
There is no hood like parenthood. Hi, I'm Kanika Gupta. I'm a former CNN journalist, mom of 3, including twins, and host of That's Total Mom Sense, the podcast. Now, if I had $1 every time I heard, gee, you have your hands full. On my show, I interview change makers on their life lessons, legacy, and superpower of intuition, which I call our Mom Sense and Dad Sense. I've had the privilege of working with Mom 2.0, March of Dimes, and the White House, and have had some pretty amazing parents on my show.
Hey, what's up? I'm Kelly Rowland.
Hi, this is Chelsea Clinton.
It's me, Bobby Brown. Can't wait to share my story.
That's Total Mom Sense is a production of the Evergreen Podcast Network. Be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts and on YouTube so you never miss an episode. To join my tribe, visit that'stotalmomsense.com and follow me on Instagram at Kanika Chadda Gupta. Now let's dive into today's episode. Now I'm with the Managing Director of Kalanidhi Dance, Lavanya Thamire. Lavanya, thank you so much for joining us on That's Total Mom Sense today.
Thank you so much, Kanika, for having us. It's really gives me great pleasure to be here today. And it's lovely that, to connect back with you.
Yes, absolutely. After so many years, I've admired your dancing. You've been an Akka figure to me and my sister and so many of my fellow dancers. So it's a joy to have you on. Tell the audience a bit about your dance journey. How did you start in dance and Kuchipudi?
Yeah, so I grew up in India, and dance was just a part of the extracurricular activity in my school. And I used to perform in the school, local events. Dance was something that I always really enjoyed, and I continued through college. But then after that, I got married and moved to the US. And then after that, for 10 years, it was completely off. I did not dance for 10 years. In the meantime, I had 2 kids. And then we moved to the DC metro area in 2004. And that was when I heard about this mega celebration event of Vempati Master Garu's 75th celebrations here in the DC metro area. And so I got tickets and went to the show. And there, of course, all his students from across the country came and performed. And I saw Kalanidhi, and I was totally mesmerized by the performance. And
wow.
So then I went to Akka, and I just spoke to her, and I said, I've learned dance before, and I would like to see if I can come and join Kalanidhi. And then at that time, she said, "Sure, do come and meet me." But this was in October 2004, and I didn't go immediately. I had to gather courage, and then it was January 2005, and I finally went and met her. And then she said, "Can you just do a little bit of dance so I see your style, where we are to begin with?" So I did a little. I started doing an item. I still remember it was Naraniyam.
Oh, wow. Yes. Oh, my God. The shlok is beautiful in that.
So, and then, 2-3 minutes into it, she said, "Okay, that's, I got." She could see the style.
Yes.
And, do you mind, would you mind starting from the basics? I said, no, I don't mind at all. I want to learn it properly. I don't mind coming with kids. I don't mind coming to, classes with little kids. So then that's how then I started coming and learning. And once I started learning from her, taking classes, I was completely hooked. Just her way of teaching and the passion she brings into the class. It was just so inspiring and like completely addictive to me. And then I found myself wanting to attend more classes. And without even realizing, it just completely changed into a passion, a deep passion. Like it would it would just make me feel complete.
Wow.
And this was in 2005 January, and then 2005 summer. In fact, my son approached and asked me that he wants to join in the summer camp. When Kishore Mastigaru came, he saw that and he was like, "Can I learn, Mom?" So I said, "Of course you can learn." So that's how he started. And then my daughter, who was not even 5, started that 2005 September.
My goodness.
There, all 3 of us used to go to classes, and I would go. She would. The thing is, she would let me attend as many classes as I could attend. So I would take my kids, go and dance, and like I said, it was just I wanted to learn it the proper way. The attention to detail, on this concept of core engagement and all that. It really mattered a lot to me. And
Yes.
Then after that, she encouraged and pushed me to do my Ranga Pravesham. In 2008, I did my Ranga Pravesham and joined the company in 2007. And that's it. Been here.
That is incredible. I love the arc, and I completely relate. I remember as a child learning from Auntie, there was just something so rewarding when you impressed her. You just felt like, okay, this practice or rehearsal was a good one because she was smiling and impressed.
Yeah.
And there's no one I've ever encountered as graceful and poised, and you just wanted to make her proud. And I love that you are, and so are your kids. That's really, really amazing. How has it been learning aside them and, having them understand the structure and the discipline? Because one thing I've noticed in this day and age with children, I've, attended dance classes, even I'm training again alongside my daughter, Suhana, that a lot of times the kids are really chatty and easily distracted. And, that can be attributed to all things that we have in this world from, tech and screens and everything. So how have your children adapted to just the old world traditions and like standard that, this is discipline that you have to have a reverence for and really commit and take it seriously?
Yeah, for some reason, both my kids, I never pushed them. It came, maybe it's because of Akka, but they went to the class and that's it. They would come home and practice. We would practice. I mean, and in the beginning, I would help them practice, and then we would practice together. But I do see what you're saying about the current generation. I guess I was lucky that, I never had to push them. Somehow it was very deeply connected with them as well. And I don't know what's the reason for that, but it's definitely got to do with, I guess, the way she was teaching also. And they were in one of those very, very motivated batches.
Right. Yeah. I think that makes a huge difference when you are in a batch that's, again, committed. Then you feel like I have to practice, I have to show up and show that I've prepared.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And, what has it been like teaching for you? Because, just a few summers ago, I got to see this firsthand, that now you and Kishoranaya lead the summer camps and are, again, teaching kids so young, from age 5 through,
Yeah.
40, 50 and up. Yeah. Getting in the same lines, saying the shloks and doing the steps, jatis and items. How has that experience been?
For me, it's very rewarding. I love teaching. I love teaching kids. And, not only teaching, when I feel that when we are teaching, we learn so much from them as well.
Yes.
Yes, but it's becoming quite challenging lately because of all the, factors that you mentioned with the social media, the, gadgets and everything. What I'm seeing is, as generations, as we're passing along the art form, the main problem that I'm facing is to teach them, but at the same time to make it fun for them. So we're having to come up with different ways of having them making it playful, but at the same time keeping them teaching them the proper way. So I try to find various different games, like follow the leader, or something like, let's do this warm up, let's make it like let's create a fruit salad, and give them various vegetable names, or let's pretend like we are animals and do the warm ups with them in various kind of bring in all that kind of fun elements into because we have to. I feel that it's not just preserving the art form, we also should make it a place for where they are able to grow and evolve and connect deeply with it.
Yes, absolutely. I loved, feeling just a closeness of being able to embody the characters. You mentioned Narayanyam. When you get to embody Krishna's playfulness, or Radha's almost like very sweet, flirty nature. It was so fun to act it out. How are you teaching the kids that? Because it's a different form of like instruction, and just to impart the stories, the mythological stories that we grew up with. We want that to be passed along to them too.
Yes. It's very interesting that you asked that, because it is challenging. Kids, especially kids, since they're growing up here, they're not deeply connected to that. But once we start telling them the story, they really love the storytelling aspect. And what we do is, especially in our summer camp, we take some stories from our mythology, like Krishna conquests, or stories like that. We sometimes use those beautiful Kalanidhi tales, and we enact. So during camp, what we do is, we've been doing this for the past, I think, 20 years now. We take a story, and then we have the kids enact the story. And we give them like various characters. They just love doing it. And of course,
wow.
Krishna is their favorite character.
Yes.
Stories of Ganesha they love.
Yes.
So yeah, we start by just, since the story is narrated in English, we just teach them the, few verses of how to enact them, and train them, and they just love it. And then, of course,
lovely.
The music element is added along with, we incorporate our technique, pure dance, and they just have fun with it. We make it pretty simple at that age, but just an introduction of how to, say the dialogues with our expressions and using our gestural language. It really brings out a lot of. They are also very deeply curious of how to use this hand gesture, and then when we show them it, they just get really excited about it.
That is so sweet. I can picture it. Once you learn the Samhita and Asamhita Hastas, you get to know that, like, how do you represent a king or Ganpati, and when you have that in your toolbox, it's so
Yes.
fun. You can use your imagination after that.
Yeah, because even when we go to the outreach performances, school assemblies, me and my daughter go and perform. They love it when we do the hand gestures, very simple
Mm-hmm.
hand gestures. When we say, we just give them, like we just show them a couple of them and say, this is what we are saying me or you.
Yes.
Then when we just show them and they just guess what we're saying.
Yeah.
And
Oh, that's so nice. Show us some now, because we do have a video component.
yes, so a simple hand gesture is patakam, right? So we say, join your fingers together and what do you think they're saying? I'm saying me
Yeah.
and saying you. Then you say all of us.
Yeah.
Then they say stop.
Stop.
We
Right.
do this.
No.
And no. Then we do this. And
Now
they
it's
say
a
mirror.
Yeah.
And then this. And they say reading a book. And we show picking up a baby.
Right.
So simple hand gestures. We also have them do this. This is the lotus. And then we show the bees. They love when we also show the birds, like birds.
Yes.
Birds, the
Yes.
deer.
The deer,
So,
yeah, and all the animals, snake.
Yes.
Yeah.
They just love that, and they just get it.
Right. Right.
Yeah, get it beautifully, and it's really nice to see that.
Yeah, it's a universal language for
Yeah.
sure.
Mhm.
And with Auntie kind of passing the torch on to you and Daniel and Pragnya and taking the company forward, what do you look forward to, and how can all of us support Kalanidhi Dance?
Yeah, it's very emotionally. For me, it's a very emotional transition, but also I feel the great responsibility of carrying her legacy is important, and I continue to strive to make sure that the standard is maintained, and I hope I can do at least a little bit of what she has continued for years and years, and her selfless service over the years. I get very
Yes.
when I talk.
No, I understand. Me too. And lastly, you've done a series called Why We Dance. So tell us why you choose to dance.
Oh, that's for me, like I said, dance has completely changed my life, and it has given me a purpose of life, because there were a lot of challenges that I faced, and I think dance is the only constant which always makes me happy.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Oh, that's so lovely. I'm now joined by the Assistant Artistic Director of Kalanidhi Dance, Pragnya Thamire. Pragnya, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having us today. This is going to be amazing. I'm excited.
Thank you. Yes, me too. So Lavanya is your mom, and she is really your first foray into Kuchipudi. So if you can take us back to those early days, whatever you remember of when you started dance, and what inspired you to take on the art form at the tender age of 5.
Yeah, so I started at 5, but really what happened was my mom started dancing a couple months before me, and then my brother was really interested, so he asked my mom. And then my mom she asked me if I wanted to start. I didn't really ask her. I was like, I don't know. Like, I was just kind of dilly-dallying around it. I was like, okay, fine, I'll just try it. And then I had a trial class with Anuradha Auntie, and I just was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, I love it. So I think what really inspired me and drew me to the art form was definitely Anuradha Auntie and the way she taught us. And I mean, she just, if you were in front of her, you just had to focus and you just had to take in everything she was teaching. I was in the same group. Actually, I didn't start. I started alone, and then I caught up to my brother.
Okay.
And then we had a group of, it was 4 of us, and we were very close. And I think having that kind of group and dancers who are all motivated really honestly helps so much. Like the community of Kalanidhi also, like outside of our group, we were all friends. And when we all met for summer camp, it was just so much fun.
Yes, yes, I love that. And it just warms my heart to see your generation, Gen Zers, keep the tradition alive. That is no small feat. For me, I was born in India and my parents immigrated when I was 2. And same with your mom, born in India. And for those who, weren't born here or have spent the majority of their lives here, to learn such an ancient art form is you're going against the grain, So how has that been for you? Because, I feel like it was something that I had to navigate, but you much more, since everyone's doing jazz and tap and ballet and everything else. And you're like, no, I'm going to learn a dance form that's from 2000 years ago.
Yeah. So honestly, in like middle school and high school was better, but middle school, I feel like kids would kind of judge like our dance style, and it would affect me a little bit, and that would make me like not want to invite other friends because I just felt like I was getting judged. But as I grew older, like into high school, I felt like very confident that this is what I'm going to do. And so you can't really like bother me, or the judgments aren't going to bother me anymore. But the tradition, the dances are they're like extremely rooted in Hindu mythology stories, right? So I actually always loved the way that the stories were explained when we were learning the dances, especially by Kishore Uncle, because the way he explains the lyrics and why this movement was done here, or with this music, or with this lyric, it was explained extremely clearly. So I feel like I understood everything, and they just laid out everything so I could connect to it. I could find something within me to connect to it, even if I didn't completely understand.
Yes, yes. I love that. And I think it's important for us to keep sharing the stories. These were oral traditions for
Yes.
generations. And, now we actually have YouTube videos and storybooks and,
Yes.
even plush toys to
Yes.
share that this is Ganpati, this is Krishna, this is Ram Bhagwan. And it's so beautiful to see the kids keeping it going today, like you.
Yes.
Is there, a favorite dance drama or item that you've performed that you're like, oh, I love embodying these characters?
Yeah, so actually, I haven't performed this piece, but one of my favorite pieces that I absolutely love is called Pralaya Prayodi Jale, which is a Jayadeva Ashtapati, and it's about Vishnu and his 10 avatars, and it's really long. It's actually about 26 minutes long.
Wow,
So,
wow.
yeah, it's really tiring, and it's really challenging, but I think it's really a special piece for me because when I was younger, I would always see the Anuradha auntie and my dance akkas, as I call them, which is like Chitra akka, Silpa akka, Smita akka, Srilekha akka, and they were all my senior dance sisters, almost. I want to say that I would grow up watching, and I would be so inspired by them. And so I watched this piece growing up, and the way Anuradha auntie would move on the dance floor was absolutely insane.
Yes, yes.
Especially with this piece. And it was also special because Kishore Uncle taught it to me when I was 13 in the summer intensive. So the way he explained it, the stories of all the avatarams, it was just so special. So I feel like that's my
wow. I have to see it. Because, I have seen, I've learned the Shavataram, and then Ravanaya taught us the Takuve mi manaku
Oh, yes.
ram. So that's
Yes.
another one. But this one I have not seen, and I do love seeing all 10 Avtarams come to life on
Yes.
stage. It's so cool.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Yay, that's so cool. And tell us, what makes you feel like you want to be part of Kalanidhi Dance and take it forward. You really are our path forward because you're from this young generation, and we need you and your voice a part of it so that all these other generations follow.
Yeah. Well, I think what really made me want to have dance as my career, because it's not easy, right, being a dancer, and
Mm-hmm.
but I think what made me want to do it completely was definitely Anuradha Auntie and how she fostered the love for Kuchipudi within me. And Kalanidhi is an amazing community. Like our school, our students, oh my gosh, I absolutely love teaching my students. They're my best friends, basically. Obviously, they're all like little kids and young, but I think what's pushing me would be mostly my students. And I think I'm starting to find my voice in dance, like my artistic identity. And I think that's also pushing me. And I want everyone to see how beautiful the art form is, the way it is. Like, I feel like we don't have to change it to make it accessible to other audiences. I feel like it's beautiful the way it is, and I feel like art is universal, emotions are universal, like people will get drawn and understand. So I just want people to feel that.
Yes, and they do. I think there's a certain reverence for Kuchipudi when you've trained, and I think it's important for us to see that and help others return to that.
Yes.
It's not gimmicky. It's not any of that. It's heritage and timeless.
Yes.
And tell us how you teach your students. Is there hacks or unique creative ideas you come up with? Because I was speaking to your mom about this. This like Gen Alpha,
Yes.
They are native to screens and easily distracted. And I think, I definitely don't have the patience even when I'm practicing with Suhana. I just feel like, you're talking too much. Like, just listen to me, follow me, so how do you help keep it fun, but also say, no, this is how we learn now. I can't have this, distracted mentality at all.
I think so. My mom definitely handles more of the younger ones because she has amazing patience. Oh my God. You have to have a lot of patience to teach the younger ones. I do have some younger ones. So for them, I think it's mostly important to honestly get to know them and have conversations after class, even if it's for 2 minutes. I feel like you need to get to know your students. Otherwise,
True.
There's no relationship or there's no connection. They're not going to feel comfortable. They're not going to trust you to teach them. So I think I put a lot of value in developing a real relationship with the students. And then I'm able to say you have to listen, you have to pay attention. And I feel like then they really do listen because they've created this relationship with me. But to make it more interesting, we do a lot of fun warm-ups sometimes, which gets them tired. So then when they're a little more tired, and I feel like they're a little more calmer because they have energy, right? So, so it definitely helps them.
Yes, it tempers it. That's great advice.
Yes.
And in the series Why We Dance, it was so interesting to hear everyone's perspective and voice on why they commit. So, can you share why you dance?
Why I dance is because of the way it makes me feel. I don't think I've ever felt as deeply connected to something as I do with dance. Truly, like as I was saying, my favorite piece, Pralaya, as the piece ends, I always feel like something in me is like growing. Like it's like my heart's gonna explode or something.
Yeah,
So
yes, I completely understand.
yeah, I think that feeling is the reason why I dance for sure.
Oh,
Yes.
that's incredible. And, our wish is for everyone to feel that.
Yes.
You just have to be exposed and, of course, witness really exceptional dancing, and then you feel that spark that like, oh, wow, I want to learn. I want to digest all of this and, kind of articulate it in your own way. But yeah, I think we need to keep that spark alive for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, and I guess any last words on how we can support Kalanidhi Dance? We're just so excited to see that Anuradha Aunty is being honored
Yes.
at a gala, and we want to keep this tradition and art form growing for generations to come. So how can we be a part of it?
I think coming and supporting our shows, even if it's like we have a lot of temple shows, sometimes we perform at actually every year we perform at the Cherry Blossom Festival in DC. Just supporting us on social media would be amazing too. Just like a follow would be great.
And so how can we follow you and get to know more about the company?
You can follow us on Instagram at Kalanidhi Dance, KALANIDHI Dance. The website is www.kalanidhi.org.
Awesome. We definitely will. We're looking forward to the gala and honoring Auntie and all the shows that are to come. I mean, the most prestigious venues. It's really lovely to see.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. This was excellent. I'm now joined by the Executive Director of Kuchipudi Kalanidhi, Daniel Singh. Daniel, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. So tell us a bit about your dance journey.
Yeah, it's a really interesting story for me. I grew up in India and lived in Chennai for almost 10 years. And while my parents pushed us to go and take like piano class or French class, I never had a chance to see a live Indian dance performance of any sort, right? Like, and Kalakshetras in Chennai, Bharatanatyam capital of the world, and I never got a chance to see a live Indian dance performance or even consider that it's an option for me. I was brought up in a Christian family, and at least in Chennai, even now, it's traditionally, associated with the Hindu religion and with the higher caste practitioners within the religion. So there are all these layers that are happening in Chennai. So it wasn't until I came to the US that there was a Christian teacher here. And so I could convince my parents that I could go take Bharatanatyam with a Christian teacher. And then they were like, okay, maybe it's not so bad. And while I was doing that, I used to work as a janitor during the weekends while going to school. And I saw a Kalakshetra trained school perform at the school I was working as a janitor on the weekend. And I saw that there was a clear difference in their style and technique and approach to choreography. And so then I switched over to my teacher, Meena Talakacharla in Maryland, and studied with her for many years before doing my Ranga Pravesham with her. And that was my Bharatanatyam piece of the story. And then I was also studying computer science in college, and I had to take a physical education requirement. And in the fourth year of my computer science degree, I took a ballet class, and that changed my life, So I felt like I really wanted to focus on dance. And so I switched majors and stayed a little bit longer and finished a dance major when I finished at UMBC.
That is remarkable. Wow. It reminds me of Good Will Hunting. And just for you to be in that ecosystem and then absorb all that's being instructed there and, join yourself is amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. I feel like everything happens for a reason. And there was a reason behind why you were meant to be at that school and to see dance unfold that way.
Yes, exactly.
And tell us about how you met Anuradha Auntie and came to know about, Kuchipudi Kalanidhi.
Yeah, so I used to have my own company in DC for many years, and so almost 20 years ago, Anuradha Auntie's company and my dancers collaborated on a piece together. I had a Bharatanatyam choreographer from India, and Kishore Master was here with a Kalanidhi Dance company, and so we thought about working on a piece together, and so that's when we first met and got to know each other. And then through the years, I've seen her original production of Rasa, almost again 20 years ago, and the commitment she brings to rigor, technique, and innovation too, right? Like along with that, she's been really innovative in the work she does. So we've stayed in touch over the years. We've co-sponsored artists together, like we both supported the esteemed dancers, Alida Sampson, when she came here. We worked together to support her tour. So we've been in touch for a long time. And so when this position opened up, I had been out of the studio for a few years, and it felt like, oh my God, a chance to be back in the midst of dance.
Yes.
Felt like going back home.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yes.
I love that. And, I feel like, being a male dancer, it's so interesting how times have shifted, because Kuchipudi was an all-male art form, and that too in dance drama. And then, it was Lakshmi Narayana Shastri and Master Garu Vempati Chinnasatyam who popularized it for male dancers, were the most prominent instructors of the form. And then it became more like widely popular amongst females. So how has it been for you to go against the grain and, encourage other male dancers to, take up the art form and perform?
So that is an ongoing challenge, I think for me, being the only dancer meant the expectations were higher, that I had to prove that I was capable or as good as the female dancers in the class. And often they had started as a child and I was starting as an adult, right? I was starting when I was 17 years old almost. So I had to work harder for myself. And I think now the challenge is to convince the parents that dance is a viable profession, right? Because people often think of dance as something you do after school or right. as a way to get into college, but then college is only for this, that, and the other. And so I think for me, being able to let parents think about dance as a career path and as an option to take up a major in dance is really important for me. That's what I did. And I wish I hadn't, waited 4 years studying computer science before I switched to dance, right? I would have had 4 more years of dance in my life. And so I try to think about that as I speak with our current dancers now, male or female, and say, you can always double major and consider, have a fallback if for some reason this doesn't work for you, but you can always double major and make dance a career. And I think with Kalanidhi, it's becoming more crystallized because Auntie is handing it over to me, right? Like, so there is a career path, there is a path for progression. And then Lavanya and Pragnya have moved up. Lavanya is the managing director and Pragnya is the assistant artistic director to Auntie. And so people can see that there are opportunities for professional careers in dance. And even besides all of that, it's part of our culture, right? Like, we have to go back to our ancestral practices because there is such a drive for AI and virtual reality and all of these things that further alienate a person from being with another person in a room or in the theater or in the studio. And I think that's something dance is really unique about, because even music, you can get a really good recording and you can probably hear it, right?
Right.
But in dance, if you're not in the room, seeing it on a 2-dimensional screen is not the same as seeing it in a 3-dimensional space.
Right.
And I think it's the last kind of place where holding on to human connection, right? And so I think that's why dance is really important, especially as we get more and more into a digitized world.
Yes. Oh, I love that. I think it's so visceral, and it's important to feel grounded with the earth too. We are of the elements, and I think we forget that with all the materialistic things we have around us.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah, returning to
Exactly.
those roots is so important. And you are a father of twins.
Yes.
I love that we're twin parents. What are you really seeking to impart to your kids?
So in parenting, I really use improvisation a lot because every day, as you know, there's a different story. Like what was a good thing yesterday that I don't like today for dinner, or so improvisation has been really helpful in parenting, and humor too, right? Sometimes when you get really frustrated with the situation, or they're really frustrated because they're not able to learn something as quickly as they want to learn it, laughing about it has been really helpful. And so tapping
Mhm.
into the rasas for us, right? Like how do
Yeah,
we
yes.
respond in the moment to what the child needs at the level they need, at the age appropriate manner in which we can connect. For me, with my kids, though, like I really want them to feel a part of India. So, before the pandemic happened, I took them when they were 8 months old. And then, of course, after that, we couldn't go for 3 years because of the 2 year shutdown, and then the vaccines weren't available. But as soon as we could go, we went back. And I took them to the live performances. They were 5 years old, and they were in the live performance and sitting
Wow.
awake and watching them, and really intrigued and interested and asking intelligent questions about the performance. Like we often assume that kids can't get
Yeah.
classical dance or whatever, and they were asking probing questions. And so I felt like I needed to keep nurturing that curiosity about their culture, their connection. And I also really work hard to make sure they learn as many languages as possible. So I speak to them in Tamil at home all the time. It's a harder battle, right? As they grow
Hmm.
older and they're hearing only English everywhere, Tamil starts slipping away. And then every night we listen to lullabies from old Hindi movies. So even if they can't speak the language, I want them to be able to hear the words and know Chanda Mama means this, right? That
Yes.
there are associations, and so that they have the tools so that if later on they want to become a dancer or a singer or anything, they have the wiring in the brain to do whatever they want. And that's all I want to impart to them, right? And I hope that they would be dancers or musicians or take up another art form. But I also know how challenging it has been for me and the other artists in the field, right? Like Auntie didn't get recognized. She didn't get a single grant for the first 15 years of running Kalanidhi. And can you
Wow.
imagine any ballet company or modern dance company or opera saying that? No, right? Like if you're
Yeah.
one of those mainstream art forms, by year 3, 4, you're getting grants and major sponsors. She did it alone for 15 long years, right? And so
Wow.
that's the commitment she had to Kuchipudi, is to say, it doesn't matter what others are saying or who recognizes this. I believe in it. I'm going to do it. And so that's what I want to pass on to my kids, is that it doesn't matter what the rest of the world says. This is something that you should be proud of. This is something that you should have as a guiding force in your life.
Yes. Oh, I love that. I, have this show that's really predicated upon our intuition. I call it our mom sense and dad sense. Is there one moment in time where you trusted that inner knowing of yours that you can share with us?
So when they started school, the teachers really wanted to split them up, saying that twins shouldn't be in the same class, that they should be separated. And for me, I felt no, siblings should be together and they should care for each other and they should be supporting each other. If one is having a difficult time, the other should be supporting them, right? And so
Hmm.
that's something I feel like I trusted my instinct, and I could see that they needed each other at that time. And so they were together for the first 2 years, and now they're in kindergarten. And they told me they're ready to go to school on their own. So they were ready at this
Oh,
point to say, now we're ready to like move on to our class of our own. So I think again, this often is framed as the right approach to framing or creating independence, but kids know when to tell you what they need and what they don't need. And I really lean into that and want to listen to what my kids say they need or want and go from their cues.
yes, I'm so with you. We had our twins in the same class as well. And I feel like that first, daycare drop off was not as jarring because they held hands and went in together. Even if there were tears. At least they were
Yes.
together.
Yes.
So yes, I'm so with you. And lastly, I wanted to pose this question to all of you, and it's based on a series that Kalanidhi produced on why we dance. So please tell my audience why you dance and what dance means to you.
Yeah, for me, dance is the place where I didn't have to check off one or another of my identities, right? Like I could be Indian, I could be a US citizen, I could be a gay man, I could be a father, I could be all of those things. And often other places you're asked to choose, you're going to be a professional now, or you're going to be a parent in the school, or you're going to be this thing here. And dance also didn't have the boundaries of language, right? Like while we use language as a starting off point, we have the freedom to explore, right? Indefinitely around a theme or a concept. And the abstract dance gives you even more possibilities. And so it felt like it was really an open canvas for me. And so that's why I really feel like dance has been what has been meaningful for me. And everyone connects to different things. But for me, dance has been transformative enough for me to switch from computer science to dance, and also for me to then continue pursuing it as a career for all these years. It's really helped me find a way to connect with people, find a way to connect to my heritage in India, and find a way to keep those things alive as I move on and the next generation is coming into the school now.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Danielle. So well articulated. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of That's Total Mom Sense. You can listen to the audio version wherever you get your podcasts. Just search for That's Total Mom Sense. You can learn more about my guests by logging on to www.thatstotalmomsense.com. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, where I'm most active on social media. My handle is @Kanika And if you have ideas for show topics or guests you can't wait to have on the show, write to me at thatstotalmomsense@gmail.com. And lastly, please rate, review, and subscribe to That's Total Mom Sense if you haven't already. Thanks for being in my tribe.